Okay, so back to attorneys. And why fire them? I actually just found out in some of my legal research that my first attorney, Sam Coletti, he never informed me, in addition to the fact that I had legal grounds to terminate the dad's right if he was being crazy and aggressive and did really, really bad things to me, that just without that stuff, he could have had his rights terminated. But he also didn't tell me that I could have gotten $19,000 in his attorney's fees awarded to him as standard practice. It's standard practice if you have to use an attorney to file for and enforce child support that you should have attorney's fees awarded against you, against the other party. Anyways, just an aside, but I was on to my next attorney, Sarah Jaffrey. Basically, it was this sort of situation. Say you're a young woman and you have a baby and a stranger sues you to take your baby away. And you're like, oh my gosh, don't take my baby away. So you go hire a lawyer and you get your baby back from the stranger who stole them out of your house. And you get your baby back and everything's good and everything's going okay, and you go in front of the judge and you're like, Judge, it's my baby, please don't give him to the stranger. And the judge is like, yes, that's right, it's your baby, the stranger can come and see him sometimes, but other than that, let's dismiss this lawsuit and get out of my courtroom. I don't like that door open, bugs me. Okay, isn't that so much neater? And so that's what happened. And the worst thing a lawyer could possibly do is keep an open lawsuit when you're the one being sued. When you're sued, you want your lawyer to like get rid of that. Like, you don't want to like make an agreement so that you give them something when the judge was just gonna award it against them. Like when the judge was not gonna award them anything, basically. And the judge found out like, you didn't deserve to be sued and you should both go on your merry way and move back to your regular life. That's what the judge decided. It's in the court transcripts if you want to look it up. I think it was somewhere around March of 2016. March or April. Anyways, so that would be great. The judge is like, stranger, give back the baby to the mama and let's move on. She doesn't need to be sued. I was like, yes, I won. Well, Miss Sarah Jaffrey keeps my lawsuit open. Now, why would you do that? And I realize now why the judge asked me twice, not once, but twice, do you agree that this is in the best interest of your child? I mean, I don't know anything. I'm just like scared. This man, a complete stranger to me, by all definitions of the casual usage of the term in the American language, has taken successfully my baby out of my home. And I haven't even seen this man for like 2 years. I haven't seen him more than I would pass my neighbor on the street. And you know how it is now, you never even see your neighbors. So it's pretty scary stuff. Stranger, someone you see that works at the grocery store. I probably see the people working at the grocery store more often than I saw this man. That's a stranger. Someone who you thought you knew who they were when you did know them for a very short period in a very long time in this past, and you no longer have any contact with them. That's a stranger. Anyway, stranger takes your baby out of your home and you get him back. The best thing your lawyer could possibly do for you is be like, high five, we won. All right, bitches, do a little dance, you know? Like, right, we won, that's great. Do a dance, come on. No, she's like, she tells me I need to agree to the guardian ad litem. I needed to do no such thing. She also tells me if I don't give him overnight possession periods, this is nowhere near mind you, maybe. This is my nursing baby. If I don't give this man overnight possession periods, the guardian ad litem is not going to be on my side, and that could hurt my case very badly. this is me. I'm like, how do I have this much education and I'm such a fool? It's because my education is in biology and mathematics, not in the way of the world and duplicity and legal affairs. So, she tells me that I've got to agree to this, and I'm so scared. Sitting there, my heart's pounding. I am not in a good mental state because, as you can imagine, how traumatizing it is to have your baby taken out of your home for 2 weeks by a stranger, and he's acting different, and everything's like your world's just turned upside down. No worse thing could ever happen to a mother, especially a mother who cares so tenderly about her children. And all children in general. I met these adorable little children today at the park, 8 of them to be exact. I could not believe a mother could have so many children, and I was quite jealous of her. I said, oh, you were so lucky to have so many wonderful bundles of love. They ranged from the age of 1 to 11, and as soon as I entered the park, they all flocked to me, all gave me lots of hugs and kisses, and they all individually wanted to be held. It wasn't enough to hold them one at a time. I had to pick up 2 at a time. Let me tell you, it's a good thing I got these guns, because I was like picking up some heavy children, one on one hip, the other on the other hip. Mom says 2 sets of twins. Even the 11-year-old boy wanted to be picked up and hugged. He didn't want to admit it, but I could tell he did. I said, even little boys want big hugs from a mama. And he got his hug too. The little baby was crowded out all at first, but she insistently came over and goes, up, just like my little darling used to do. Anyways, my point is that I can have contact with all other children in the world, but yet I cannot have contact with my own. And do you know why? Because Miss Sarah Jaffrey kept this lawsuit open, because that set in place a avalanche of events. First, the baby had overnights, then there were agreed orders and more agreed orders, and the guardian ad litem who I had to pay, who said I was worrisome because I wanted the baby to drink too much milk, or he was too skinny, or God forbid I mentioned the father does drugs, or his family is of irreparable repute. Anyways, the judge says, do you agree to this? And I was like, I wanted to be like, no, absolutely not. This guy, this stranger, just came and took my little sugar muffin and caused me all kinds of distress and trouble, and now I've got to go home and deal with a baby who I can barely get down anyways. My sweet little darling got very upset by this whole traumatic ordeal and by being taken away from his home and his dear mother. What is the baby to think? Why would you take a baby out of his mother's home like this? For what reason? Who does no drugs? Who's no danger to her children? Because she got a little emotional over a man who did unmentionable things. And even if it wasn't for that, people get emotional sometimes. They get upset. They say stupid things. There's no reason to take a baby out of a mother's home. So Miss Sarah Jaffrey, thank you very much. I noticed you were a little pregnant then with your first child. You might see, once you have a child, if you don't have a cold, callous heart made of stone, even a stone would be warmer than that, it would know better to not keep the lawsuit open. Why would you do that? Why? Like, what were you thinking? You knew that kept my lawsuit open. What, I'm only gonna make $5,000? That's the thought that went through your mind. I saw it go right there. It was bright as day. But yet, when you're in a state of great despair and trauma over your child being taken, you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and let her do what she says because she's my lawyer, and from what I've been told, lawyers are supposed to have my best interests at heart. no. You know, I kind of thought, well, it can't hurt. I didn't realize the legal implications behind it, that it kept the whole lawsuit open. Thanks. The next hearing, I lost more time, more restrictions. The next hearing, the judge said I would for sure be without my baby. And then I just decided to have a little breakdown and take off for 2 weeks, and then I couldn't get back, and then I got thrown in jail, and then I got released, and then I got thrown in jail again. Then I never saw my son for 2 years, and then I got thrown in jail again, and over 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 and over. And have seen my son? Not at all. Not at all. For what? Because Miss Sarah Jaffrey had to keep a lawsuit open, and by keeping a lawsuit open in a family custody case, it can go on for years. The best thing that could ever happen for you is for a judge to dismiss it, which is exactly what was going to happen. You should refund my $10,000. And I don't know, how about you let me borrow your child for 2 years and you never see him except unsupervised and abused, and you go back to jail on and off for many years, be financially ruined. All because you thought, I'm only going to make $5,000. How dare you? I don't know what this world is coming from. Coming from, doesn't even matter. Just so absurd.